I know I left the movie talk sphere, but hey, I still love Marvel. At least I did. But I want to talk about this one thing that happened on Secret Invasion, so there will be spoilers in this video. You've been warned. Here we go. Marvel, Marvel, Marvel. What was once a marvelous universe, connected with great films like Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians, whatever. And then it built up to such a beauty. That was Infinity War and Endgame. That was an epic grand conclusion. And you could say one of the most historical movie franchises ever. 20 movies all connected. And it led to Endgame, that at one point was the most successful film in all of history. I watched Secret Invasion. Now, this was actually the first MCU project I didn't watch trailers for. So before this, there was already a little bit of negative momentum. Because this year we had Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. Then the Marvels trailer didn't look all that interesting. But that love of the MCU that I once had has been blown away after watching Secret Invasion. Now, the show is not bad. It's not bad there's bad parts of it. But there's this one specific bad part that really, really took me out. That now I'm not watching the Marvels. And I'm promising you that. There's been 2 trailers for the Marvels. I have no motivation to watch the Marvels. It doesn't look all that good, except for like Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. But the rest of the show, was it bad? I would say it's alright. It's good. In fact, I would say it starts off really well. But we've seen that with every Disney Plus Marvel show. You get a show that starts off really well, and then it lowers. Even Loki, which I would say is my second or third favorite MCU show. Even that show starts off so amazing, and then later down the road, well, it never gets bad to me. Except for one episode, and that was episode 3. It kind of just slows down and kind of hits the brake pedal. And it makes me wish WandaVision wasn't the first thing we got, because WandaVision put up such a high expectation to what we expect from Marvel. Then now it's like, the best thing was the first thing to come out, It's kind of like, you're on a date with the girl. And that first date is amazing. It's wonderful. Then after that, the other dates, it just gets worse, 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 and worse and worse. And what's funny is I really went into this show thinking, okay, it's much different than She-Hulk. It might just be able to do well, because I didn't like She-Hulk. I actually rewatched all of She-Hulk a couple weeks ago. Actually, a week ago. And I will say She-Hulk, I feel like the issue with She-Hulk is it's something Marvel's never done. And so I think from the get-go, it was always going to be a failure. But overall, that show is just not very funny. But let me talk about why specifically Secret Invasion. The finale put me in a space where I'm done with Marvel. At least for the meantime. Prior to this, we had Thor, Love and Thunder. And then while I really like Wakanda Forever, they made the stupidest decision to not recast T'Challa. And now we're running with Shuri. And now a T'Challa Jr. who has no story and isn't even Wakandan. Well, he is Wakandan, but he doesn't even live in Wakanda. Why can't we have recast T'Challa? That to me was what's funny? There's 3 decisions in the MCU that I've always qualified. Now there's a new first place, but there's always been 3 things in the MCU that I've said, these are the dumbest things Kevin Feige has ever done. 3rd place, Professor Hulk. That was a mistake. Sure, it was done for the snap in Endgame, but besides that, what else has Professor Hulk done? Number 2, now this used to be first place until what I'm about to bring up, but second place was not recasting T'Challa. That was a mistake. Wakanda Forever was this good movie that was missing that one thing that could have made it great, and you know what that was? T'Challa. But now at first place, we have Emilia Clarke's character, Gaia, now all of a sudden being the most powerful fucking being in the MCU. When the MCU was at its prime, we had individual characters with individual stories that eventually built up to something. You had Doctor Strange running the magic realm. You had Thor running the gods and the space realm. Then you had Guardians who went more cosmic into the space and beyond realm. Then you had Iron Man, who was more about the man, the robot being a billionaire, that. Then you had Captain America, who was more of a warrior. He was a hero, but he wasn't an OP hero. Then you had Spider-Man, who was just a teenager who ran the high school era, or high school realm of this universe. And you had that. You had that. But now we get into this new phase. And now we have this new, or not new phase, but this new saga. Because we've already had 2 phases. We go into this saga. And now we have a character who has the powers of Thanos, Drax, Mantis, Groot, Winter Soldier, Captain Marvel, Captain America, Hulk, Abomination, Corvus Glaive, Ebony Maw. I don't know who else was in there, but there was a lot of characters. And now you have this character who is this big, OP fucking character. And now the MCU feels pointless. Because now, for anything that happens, it's, oh, well, just call up Gaia. Call up Gaia, you know. Just call her up. Oh, Shang-Chi has issues with another villain? Okay, boom, there, Gaia. Oh my god, Hulk is battling another big baddie? Boom, Gaia. Oh my god, Thor's having issues? Boom, send Gaia. Oh, and she also has the powers of Thor. I forgot that. Now, it just feels nowhere. And the thing is, Marvel has had issues before. Starting this new multiverse saga that, to me, began with WandaVision, I believe. It was 2021, yeah. We had that entire year gap. Far From Home, WandaVision. And I remember at the time, it felt so bad because it's been a long time since we didn't have a Marvel movie come out in 1 year. You know, every year since 2008, it's been new Marvel movie, new Marvel movie, new Marvel movie, new Marvel movie. And usually they were great movies. There was a time in 2017 to 2018 to 2019, that era, Marvel was at its peak. It was so peak that it was the first time that I had 100% trust on a studio. Even before Infinity War. You know, Marvel delivered great movies. And if they weren't great, they were good. No other franchise did that. No other franchise had that. But now, with Marvel, we removed Guardians Volume 3. Love and Thunder, She-Hulk, a Wakanda Forever that had higher potential. And now you got this year, Quantumania, mid. Secret Invasions, mid. And the Marvels trailer, the Marvels is now, there's more pressure to that movie. Because you already have a lot of negative press with the people being like, oh, it's woke, you know, Brie Larson. I'm sorry to say this, but Brie Larson, unfortunately, is almost like a red flag to a lot of people, which there's no reason why there should be. I think she's a great actress, but a lot of people take what she says personally. But I will say this, though. That first Captain Marvel movie was not good. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to keep it a buck. It's not good. Now, I will say, I do think the Marvels will be better than that first Captain Marvel movie. I won't lie to you. You know, Iman Vellani's going to be there. Tanaya Paris, she's going to be there. You know, there's going to be some good things. Samuel Jackson, I always like seeing Samuel Jackson. But besides that, the trailer just seems like another issue with the MCU. You know, it feels like this new saga is just kind of random. First, I think they lost their identity. Their brand identity used to be, you're going to come here, we have these individual movies, and they're going to be good, and if you like them enough, there's a bigger universe that follows this. So, like, if you went, like, one of the best examples I can bring up is my little sister. She's, like, 2 years younger than me. She never grew up watching Marvel or DC comics, or why did I say watching? Reading Marvel DC comics. She didn't really watch a lot of the movies with me either. And it wasn't until I showed her Doctor Strange. It was, like, a year after it came out. I remember it was, like, a little before Infinity War came out. And she, prior to this, had never, I think at most she only saw Age of Ultron. But she had never seen an MCU movie. And then I showed her Doctor Strange. And she loved that movie. She loved it so much. And it became a gateway to now she loves the MCU. Now you go to her room, she has posters, she has some Funko Pops of Wanda, you know, stuff like that. And because that one movie got her. And that's what the MCU used to have. The MCU used to have, you watch this one movie and you love it. And that means, and it almost felt like a prize. It felt like, oh, you guys really like this movie? Well, we got this bigger story, you know, it's coming up next year. And it built up to Endgame. And now even though Endgame came out in 2019, I feel nostalgic about that movie. You know, I mean, it's why I got that shirt right there. You know, the poster with Endgame. Yeah, you know. But again, where's that identity, that brand identity, where you could watch one movie and you'd fall in love? Now, yes, there's been good things. Shang-Chi was freaking amazing. No Way Home. I think No Way Home has been the most successful thing in this multiverse saga. Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, that was another really good movie. But other than that, you've had movies like Eternals not do so well. Even though I like Eternals, that didn't do so well. Black Widow, I think that movie was just... Because what's funny is that if Black Widow and Eternals had come out... Even though Black Widow and Eternals, I would say, are the better movies that have come out from the saga, those movies in the Infinity Saga would have been down, like, almost forgotten. I mean, look at what happens with Iron Man 2 and Thor the Dark World. Those movies are just kind of forgotten because those movies mean nothing when you got all these other great movies that stack upon it. You know, it's kind of like taking a shit and then putting millions of flowers and roses and Febreze and whatever to make it smell nice. But now you got random characters. Some movies good, some movies mid, some movies bad. And the Disney Plus shows, I feel like, really tarnished that legacy. Because even Miss Marvel isn't all that universally loved. I really like the show, but like not everyone liked it, you know? I feel like the only MCU show that's come out that has been loved, like universally, has been WandaVision. I've only seen very few people ever hate that show. And usually the people who do hate it is because they didn't have Mephisto. But this saga has so many issues that I can't even believe it's Feige that's still... Like, if this was like, oh, Feige decided to retire after Endgame and he hired like a new guy, I would expect this. But this is still Feige, the guy who gave us the Infinity Saga. You know? And I love Feige. I'm going to give you a pass. You gave me the Infinity Saga. But what is this universe? There's no identity. The two here... By the way, Endgame released in 2019. We are now in 2023. Why has Captain America and Iron Man not been replaced? You know, where's the face of the MCU? I remember it used to be Iron Man and Captain America were the big faces, and now it just feels kind of like, oh, whatever. You know? The identity, the movies aren't good. And what are you building up to? What are you building up to? Multiverse of Madness. Didn't even reference Kang. All these movies, you say you're going to build up to something. There's nothing. There's nothing. And then you finally release Quantumania and make that movie all about the future villain getting killed. And then you don't even make that movie good. You know, what the hell? Like, at least Quantumania should have been solid. And then they're doing random things. They saw, oh, Thor, everyone loved funny Thor and Ragnarok and Infinity War and Endgame. So now let's get this Love and Thunder and make it berserkly funny. Let's just let Taika do whatever he wants. Oh my god, people love Ant-Man and we need to tease Kang for the future? Okay, let's give Ant-Man a berserk movie that has no tonally match towards his other movies. Like, how the hell do you go from Ant-Man 1 being about saving his daughter from this one billionaire bad guy, and the second movie being, oh, stopping this, like, ghost-shaping girl from taking a building, to now all of a sudden now, in the third movie, it's, we're in the quantum realm and the multiverse is in danger. How do you go from that to this? You know, and it's funny because how? Like, how in the hell is this all happening? And then you have Doctor Strange, a movie about the multiverse that doesn't even show you what's even... Like, I feel like at most all you learn is incursions. I remember with the Infinity Saga, you had them little by little introducing the stones. You know, in Avengers, you learned about a stone. In Guardians, you learned about a stone. Dark World, you learned about a stone. Doctor Strange, another stone. And then you knew that Thanos was lurking in the back and one day coming to invade Earth. You had the post-credit scene from the first Avengers, then the post-credit scene in Avengers Age of Ultron, then a scene in Guardians Volume 1. And then, boom, you got to the post-credit scene of Thor Ragnarok that led to this epic 2-movie conclusion of that era of the MCU. I am now, for the first time ever, and I've been defending the MCU for the last 2 years, even though the movies haven't been the greatest. And while I have been defending the MCU, what they did in Secret Invasion with Gaia made me think, why the hell should I even watch anymore? You know, what's funny is that I wasn't even planning on watching Secret Invasion all that much. The only reason why I did is because I stole someone's Disney Plus account. Like, I don't want to deny it. Like, I remember it was like 2 weeks, and then I was like, oh shit, they got Disney Plus. And I'm like, hey, I might as well catch up to Secret Invasion. And then I wish I didn't, because I feel like I wouldn't have hated the MCU. And then what I hate is that now these things are crucial. Like, these shows are crucial to, like, a next movie. Like, if you didn't watch WandaVision, you'd probably be confused as to why Wanda's evil. You know, now if Gaia shows up in another movie, you're now wondering, you know, Gaia, who is this girl? Oh, she's from this. Oh, this is how she got it. You know, with the MCU, it used to be more subtle. It used to be, hey, you know, if you're brand new to the universe, just start off with whatever movie. I remember showing a friend Thor Ragnarok. They had never seen any other MCU movie, and they loved Ragnarok. They weren't confused at all. They just loved the movie. You know, again, my sister with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange was its own self thing. And then, boom, she loved that movie so much that she eventually watched the Avengers movie. She did a whole binge of the other MCU movies. And then, boom, she was lucky enough to have watched Endgame at the right time, you know, when it came out in theaters. You know, it all built up to that. And now we have a dead Black Panther, and we have random Ant-Man saving the world stakes. We have a goofy Thor. We have a Hulk who has a kid and is wearing Hawaiian shirts to the cookout. And what is there left to do? And the thing is, when Infinity War and Endgame were coming out years before those movies came out, there was hype. There was build-up. People being like, oh my god, they're doing the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. And what's funny is that last year, when at San Diego Comic-Con, they announced Multiverse Saga, oh, we have Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty. I remember all the MCU fans were being like, oh, you know, this is Marvel's dominating movies forever, and that this is going to be bigger than Infinity War Endgame. And I remember people being like, oh my god, DC's in the mud right now and that Marvel's dominating. I think it's the reverse now. Sure, DC's in a bad place. The Flash just flopped. Blue Beetle's going to do a Universal flop. But at least with DC, they're rebooting this shit with an actual creative who's made great movies. And you know what? That creative is the only reason why the MCU brand isn't dead. Because if Guardians hadn't released this year, I think it would have been dead to far more people. And what sucks is that, for me, as someone who keeps up with movies, when I watched Guardians Volume 3, I didn't think this was a Marvel movie. I thought this was a gun movie. Like, that was my mindset. When I watched Quantumania, when I watched Secret Invasion, I think these are Marvel movies. And that sucks because I feel like a lot more fans are going to say that. That's why DC's in a better spot. Because with Infinity War and Endgame, there's this hype for a while. People couldn't wait. They wanted to see the post-credit scene to see what stone is to be revealed or whatever. But with Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, sure, you had Shang-Chi's bracelet being wondering where it comes from. Sure, you had Miss Marvel wondering where her bracelets come from. But that's it. You're not seeing people talk about, oh, I can't wait to see Kang. You know? Oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to do. No. No one's talking about Kang Dynasty. No one's talking about Secret Wars. No one is. There's a lot more hype for Deadpool 3 than there is for those movies. But I guarantee you it's not because it's a Marvel brand. It's because people just love that Deadpool that wasn't even from your universe. And not only that, but obviously they're bringing back Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. You know, and that's also something that the MCU has really been doing right now. It feels like the successes that Marvel has had has been because of nostalgia baiting you. You know, No Way Home. Why did that movie do well in the box office? Oh, because you had Doc Ock's return from that movie. You had Goblin return, the foe. You know, you got the villains from all these movies come back. And then on top of that, it was kind of pretty obviously known that the three Spider-Man were going to be in one movie together. The return of Tobey, first time since 2007. The return of Andrew Garfield, first time since 2014. Yeah, 2014. Obviously, most of it went to Tobey. People just loved the Tobey movies. And then all of that, but Tom Holland's an already popular Spider-Man. So even alone, that movie would have done really well. And that's the biggest Marvel success right now. It was the nostalgia baiting. You know, and then now you have Deadpool 3. What's their big marketing? It's going to be, hey, we got Deadpool in the MCU, and we got Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Even Multiverse of Madness, a movie that did really well. A lot of it was, oh, guys, Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier's going to be it. Oh, Multiverse? That means cameos. And then later on, they show you Reed Richards from another universe. They show you Black Bolt from the Inhuman show. You know, maybe at some point we got to start analyzing that Marvel's really not at a good spot, and Gaia and her powers and all that just show you that they're not. And for the first time ever, I'm not going to go watch an MCU movie. And that is with the Marvels. Not because of any woke issue or whatever. It's just because Marvel has spat on me. Because these cost money. It's not like I can just watch these for... Like, at least with Secret Invasion, I watched that shit for free. I watched... Even if I had Disney Plus. Like, you know, it wouldn't feel like I'm paying for this. Because if I had Disney Plus, it'd be because of all the other catalog. You know, the Star Wars movie, the whole rest of the MCU. But at least with Secret Invasion, some of these Disney Plus shows, I can say, okay, it's free. But with movies, it's the opposite. Quantumania. I hate that I paid for Quantumania. I really do. That movie's not worth my $11. It's not. There's so many things I could be buying with $11 that would be far more of significance. You know, Thor: Love and Thunder, another movie that I feel like I shouldn't have paid for. Even Black Widow to some extent. Sorry, it's just the truth. You know, and that's the last thing you should do to a consumer. If you're making the consumer feel like they wasted money, then they're not going to trust you again. That's why Marvel succeeded so well, as DC didn't. You know, with Zack Snyder, the reason why DC failed is because people just didn't like Batman vs Superman. They didn't like the Justice League movie they released in theaters. They didn't like Suicide Squad, and so DC fans over time gained less and less of a trust. That now, when you got the biggest Hollywood star in Dwayne Johnson getting his own superhero movie, no one wanted to go watch it. You know, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, no one wants to watch it. The Flash, a movie that was teasing multiverse and all that, no one wanted to watch it. But Marvel was the opposite at some point. But now, it's almost like they're now in the DC path. Where when people go to watch your movies, you're making them feel like they're wasting money. If you make someone feel that way, they won't trust you. Hence, it's going to be harder to get their money. And if you're putting all that trust in the Marvels, maybe not. Because to me, I'm going to be honest, the only way I'm going to go watch the Marvels is if all the reviews, and I'm saying all, I'm not just saying critics, I'm saying fans, like comic book fans, if they're all saying this movie's so good, it's so perfect, then sure. But the trailers haven't done that for me. The trailers have been alright. I wasn't a fan of Captain Marvel in her own movie. Also wasn't a fan of the movie itself. The villain, who the hell is even the villain? Sorry if I'm coughing, but why should I pay my money to go watch these movies? Why? Honestly, why? Like, it's just it. You know, but look, I'm going to hope for Marvel to do a U-turn, but it's not going to happen in 2023. And look, I think 2023 might just be Marvel's worst year, which is unfortunate because Guardians is by far one of their better movies. One of the best movies in the MCU to me. It's all subjective to me. And so it just sucks because I love Marvel. I was always known to be the guy who loves Marvel at one point. You know, I love the MCU. I got a lot of stuff. I mean, I have a giant Marvel Comics poster. In my old setup, you could see my Infinity War poster. I love Marvel. And I'm going to continue hoping for the best. But till then, I'm just... I mean, what's even coming out in 2024? Deadpool 3? What else is coming out? I honestly... Look, that's how forgettable it was. With the other years, it was always like, oh, I know this movie's coming out this year, that year, this, and that. Now it's just like, all I can remember is Deadpool 3 is coming out next year. You know? But it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. And not only that, but on top of that, now they're dealing with the writer's strike and the actor's strike. So it's almost like, you know, how are they going to do with that issue? Or deal with that issue. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. Y'all let me know in the comments. Am I overreacting? Or whatever. I don't know. I just feel like the whole Gaia thing was like almost like the final nail in the coffin. You know, but that's all I gotta say. I love Marvel. While I don't do movie news anymore, there's gonna be occasional times where I would like bring up an opinion whatever. And I felt like this deserved to be a longer video rather than just a YouTube short. So anyways, you let me know what you think. See you on the next one. Ciao.
Trapping out like a trapper. I do this shit for my mama. You believe in me? Do you even see where I'm trying to go? I can't go back home, nah. I've been left alone for so many times. Grabbed on a microphone, now I'm on my grind. So my life as a puzzle, I got a mastermind.